Well, if you've been outside lately, you may have noticed those giant mosquito-looking bugs bouncing around your yard, but don't worry, you're not under attack. We're talking about crane flies and how our dry spring is making them more noticeable. Meteorologist Bekah Birdsall explains in this morning's Weather IQ.
They look like mosquitoes on steroids, but they're not out to bite you. These are crane flies, and thanks to a dry spring across North Carolina, we're seeing their impact more clearly this season.
Even though the adults look like mosquitoes, they do not feed on blood. In fact, they don't really feed at all.
Terry Billison, turfgrass entomologist at NC State, explains the adults are short-lived and harmless. Once they emerge, they will mate, the females will lay eggs, and they die within a couple of days. The real culprits are the larvae, and that's where lawns can take a hit.
The adults will lay eggs in the soil. The eggs will hatch, and then little larvae will crawl around. They look like caterpillars, but without legs. And so this time of year, crane fly damage is going to be the most evident because those larvae are going to be big, and so they cause a lot of damage in a short period of time.
These larvae feed on turfgrass roots and leaf tissue, and spring is when the damage shows up most clearly. Terry says this year isn't unusual for crane flies, but what is different is our dry spring.
If the grass is struggling already and then the larvae feed on it, that's when we start to see that compounding damage, and that could explain why some infestations this year might be worse than others.
In other words, healthy grass can often outgrow crane fly damage. Stress, drought-impacted grass can't. And while crane flies love moisture, Terry warns homeowners not to overcorrect.
Typically, when people ask me about how to deal with crane fly populations, I caution them not to overwater, because if you make it too moist, it just speeds up that larval development.
With Weather Impact Team, I'm meteorologist Bekah Birdsall.
Thanks for sharing, so I don't have to get scared. Every time I see them, I'm like, I don't want to get bit.
They look like daddy long legs, but flying. And, you know, when you have like huge flying bugs everywhere.
Who wants that?
No one wants that. So I'd say I saw them pretty much every time I walked outside over the past couple of weeks, but the activity has kind of fallen off just a little bit.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I like to hear that.